Well, it has certainly been a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean not really that long, to be honest with you, since the actual last video that was, So, because it's been almost an entire year since I started actually uploading videos on WTD, I thought it'd be fun, just, for no reason, to do a little bit of a Q&A. If you don't know what a Q&A is, you're lying. You're just actually lying. You know what a Q&A is, don't even lie. So, I decided to go around and ask a bunch of people I knew for some questions. And I'm just going to answer them. Now, like in the hot takes video, I am going to be not showing profile pictures or names. And to be honest with you, the reason why, and I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, is because I didn't actually ask any of these people for permission to put them in a video. So I'm just going to do this to avoid any possible harassment that I may get for putting them in a video that they didn't ask to be put in. So yeah, alright, I have a bunch of questions here. I'm going to be answering these in, no particular order. And yeah, let's just get started. So the first one, this is actually not the first question I got asked, but it seems fitting to do this as the first one. What got you started playing World Tower Defense? Well, it's actually pretty simple, to be honest with you. I was just bored of the tower defense games I was playing currently. I think it was like Tower Blitz or something. And I decided to just look up tower defense in the search for games, and I found World Tower Defense. And I thought, well, it looks interesting enough, I'll try it. I believe I started in 1.4 or whatever the version was. So yeah, obviously not the oldest player, but I still play some of the older versions, and it was fun. And I've been playing it ever since. Next one that also makes sense to be very early on is what made you want to make WTD videos. And to be honest with you, I feel like it was mostly a lack of content more than anything. No offense to anybody out there, but I just feel like a lot of the WTD content at the time, and again, no offense, but still kind of to this day, it just wasn't very good. Again, seriously, no offense. I don't mean to offend anyone by saying this, but I just never thought that any WTD content on YouTube or really anywhere was just good or entertaining. And I thought, well, maybe I'll take a crack at it, see what I can come up with. And I'm not going to try and praise myself or anything and saying that I saved WTD YouTube or whatever. No, I definitely did not. In fact, I wouldn't even argue most of my videos are even good. But I try. I give an honest effort. And, yeah. What video is your favorite that you've made? Well, this can be interpreted multiple ways. The video I'm most proud of is definitely the worst units video. I did end up unlisting that video because I realized it was kind of just a breeding ground for arguments and debates, and I don't really want to be cited as the source of any kind of, stuff like that, so I just decided to go ahead and unlist it. But I am still quite proud of it. I spent a lot of time making it. I put in a lot of effort. It took way longer than it really should have, and I edited it a lot. The most that I've edited any video so far. Hopefully it won't be the most edited video I've ever made ever. I'd like to do better than that, but it's a start, I'd say, and I'm decently proud of it. But as for my favorite video to actually make, the creation of was the most fun, that would probably have to go to either the Seasonal Arduous video, or it would have to go to the Devilish Remix video. I just have fun playing the game with my friends, and that's how those videos got made. Do you have any scrapped video ideas? Yeah, I actually do, quite a lot. A long time ago, I wanted to make a history video on various units, Aviator was the one I was going to start with. Clearly just copying Lister's TF2 history videos, but, I thought it'd be entertaining. So, I wanted to give it a try, but, as it turns out, it just wasn't very interesting, because a lot of it was just kind of me going in this specific version, this unit got 1 more damage, or something like that. It just wasn't very entertaining, it wasn't very interesting, and so I just kind of scrapped it. The problem is that a lot of unit changes over the years and updates are not very big or interesting or really worth talking about, so I ended up just kind of scrapping the entire idea, and that's just one of many. I had a couple other videos I had in mind, like a freezing mode video, don't ask about it, an event review video that's actually I still kind of want to make, and probably the one I'm actually most upset that never got finished was a 1.18.2 review video. I wanted to make an entire video going over the update, but honestly there just wasn't enough to really talk about, and honestly it was mostly just an excuse to defend the UI change that happened because I saw a lot of people hating on it. It just happens. Who inspired your style of videos? I don't really know, to be honest with you. Well, the people who inspired me to really start, like, trying, was honestly more of, like, just the general kind of TF2 YouTuber scene, people like Uncle Dane, H2, Solarlight, Zesty Jesus, Jonto Hill, I guess, Wheezy, Soundspit, all of them. And to be honest with you, the biggest reason why they've inspired me is just because for a long time, before I really got invested in TF2 YouTube content, I always saw videos as being this like impossible task to make. With all this heavy editing and live action stuff going on, it was just like, no one knows how to make stuff like that, right? But then you look at TF2 YouTube and it's just like, oh, it's just playing games and commentating. Like, I can do that. Like, that's possible. So I guess you could argue that's what inspired me. And honestly, the inspiration may have come from a lot of the older TF2 YouTubers that I used to watch when I was like really young, like Star, Germa, Funk, people like that. And yeah, I just thought it was finally time to give it a go. And in terms of style, though, I don't really know though. Like, the people who inspired me to make videos, easy to answer. But the people who inspired the style of videos, I don't really know. I'm not even really sure what my style would be considered, to be honest with you. I kind of am all over the place, but that's the best answer I can give you, really. Why do you unlist most of your videos? Now, I think I've said this before maybe, but I'll say it again. I unlist videos when I am no longer proud of them. When they are at a level that I feel is no longer at my standard, my quality standard, whatever you want to call it. I'm not very proud of them anymore, and I don't really want to keep them on the channel. I don't want people to watch them and think, oh wow, this guy sucks, what the hell is this? Just gameplay, no commentary? Like, what the hell is this? So I decided to just enlist a lot of them because I don't think they represent my level of quality anymore, to put it simply. What do you use to edit your videos? Currently it's just CapCut that I use to make videos, or edit videos I guess, but I like to use paid stuff in the future because it doesn't have as many limitations. What TD games do you play besides WTD? To be honest with you, really not anything else. I mean, WTD is kind of the only one that actually feels unique. Like, there are other tower defense games out there that do stuff unique, obviously like critical tower defense has like perks and stuff like that, but no other game out there has really managed to combine the real-time strategy with Battle Cat's tower defense hybrid kind of gameplay into a seamless, smooth, big, expansive experience with a ton of content like WTD has. So, really nothing. Although I used to play a lot of Tower Blitz, before that I played a lot of TDS, and before that I played a lot of Tower Battles. So, I've been around, I've been playing games, but in terms of tower defense games, currently I don't really play anything else besides WTD. What moment are you most proud of in all of WTD? Now this is an interesting question, but I would go as far as to say that my most proudest accomplishment, I guess, and not really accomplishment, but most proud moment was my first ever treacherous win. It was on Ghost Town, and I was playing in a team made exclusively of my friends, so we were all in BC, and it was just a big moment. We were working really, really hard to win. It was exciting. It got really, really close at the end, which made it even better when we actually did. It was awesome. Least favorite and most favorite unit in the game. I mean, for least favorite, I guess Joyous, but I feel like Joyous is kind of like an obvious one because everyone knows it sucks. It's easily the worst unit in the game, but everyone knows that. Like, it's obviously going to be bad. In terms of least favorite, though, to like see in people's loadouts, I guess also Joyous. I mean, I feel bad picking that, but I can't really think of a unit that I actually dislike seeing more than Joyous anyway. As for most favorite unit, though, that's a bit of a difficult one. I really like every unit in the game, to be honest. There's not one, besides Joyous, obviously, that I actively dislike, but The one I've been having a lot of fun with recently has definitely been Trapper. In fact, I was actually planning on making an entire video about Trapper, but we'll get to that one day, I guess. But I wouldn't go as far to say that Trapper's my favorite unit in the entire game, you know? I just like using it, and I've been using it a lot recently, so I don't really know. I mean, I've always said that I really like Illuminator. It's definitely one of my favorite units, but is it my all-time favorite? No, not really. But I do like it a lot, so I guess I'm just gonna say Illuminator, but it's not really my true answer. I don't really know what my true answer to that question is right now, but that's the best one I can give you right now. Can you show your hours you have on WTD? Here you go. If there was one unit and accessory you could completely rework, which ones would it be, and what would the rework be, and why? Well, for accessory, it's pretty obvious. I would definitely rework All and None. I think the design of the accessory is just completely pointless. It's like super counterintuitive for some reason, and it's just not very useful. Honestly, the vast majority of the time that I use All and None, it feels like it doesn't even do anything. Like, I just feel like I'm using None, but everything is more expensive. So I would definitely rework All and None, make it something actually fun and interesting. And as for unit, I don't really know, to be honest. Again, I feel like every unit is fine. I don't think that any unit really needs a rework per se, but I guess I would go with Operative? I mean, I like Operative, I think it's a good unit, but it feels like the least distinct, I guess, out of all the units. Like, it kind of feels like it's just guy with gun that shoots, and not really anything interesting, other than the fact that it's permanently cloaked, which still isn't even that interesting, to be honest. It's like fine. The only thing that actually makes it feel somewhat unique are the abilities, but even then, like, the summon abilities to summon like friendly enemies is literally just that. It's literally just summoning friendly versions of Terminators and Mecha Menaces and Metal Eyes. There's nothing interesting about it. And the bomb abilities for, you know, buffing units and stunning enemies, I mean, they're cool, I guess, but they're nothing that we haven't seen before, and they're temporary. So it's not even like a lasting effect that's going to affect the entire game. It would just affect like one specific encounter with an enemy or something. Like, I don't know. I feel like Operative's fine still. I don't think it really needs a rework. It doesn't feel that distinct compared to some of the other units, I guess. I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to go with that one, but really, I don't really know. Do you support the LGBTQ in all caps for some reason? Well, my sister is bi, and her husband is trans, and I have a lot of gay friends, so I'd say yes. What games do you play besides Roblox? Well, to be honest with you, even on Roblox, I don't really play much. I play WTD and Untitled Combat Demo Rework, and that's pretty much it. Oh my god, you hit the important. But outside of Roblox, I play, a lot of Steam games, obviously. I'm a pretty big Valve fan. I own every Half-Life game. I own every Portal game, even though there's only 2. Left 4 Dead 2, one of my most played games of all time right there. TF2, my favorite game of all time right there. Easily, most amount of time spent. I own pretty much every single Sonic game as well, at least all the mainline ones anyway. Serious Sam, the series I own pretty much every game in. Same for Doom, Quake. Big first-person shooter guy, if you couldn't tell. Your Only Move is Hustle is a very fun game that I've played somewhat recently now. It's pretty awesome. FNAF games, I own pretty much all of the mainline ones except for the more recent ones, like all the ones after VR I didn't really play. The Binding of Isaac was one of my most played games ever. In fact, I first started playing it back in 2012. And I still be playing it to this day. Ultra Kill, is the one that I played. Obviously a big fan of Undertale and Deltarune. Played a lot of that. SCP Containment Breach, one of my favorite games ever, right there. Love that one. The Max Payne series I played a decent bit of. Let me think, what else is there? I don't know, Cuphead, I guess. I played Cuphead when it came out in the DLC. Bendy, same thing there. Baldy, all the classics. That's pretty much it. There's obviously other games, but I don't feel like listing literally every single one out. I guess Risk of Rain 2 and Slime Rancher 2 I've been playing a lot recently. That's pretty much it. Are your thumbnails inspired by the art style of WTD? I've actually been asked this before, and the answer is no. I don't know what they're inspired by, to be honest. I just kind of didn't want to have like basic gameplay images as the thumbnail. I just kind of wanted to do something actually interesting. And I'll be honest with you, I can't draw. Pretty obvious that I can't, but I think that they're unique enough to me, anyway, that they're kind of like my style, my own style. And my own style is obviously garbage, but it's still my own style. And, yeah, I'm not going to stop making them. Favorite thing about WTD? Well, definitely not the community. I feel like my favorite thing is just, I don't know how unique it is. I mean, I just like the game a lot. Like, it's kind of hard to pick one thing in particular about it that I like the most out of everything. I mean, obviously, it being a very unique game is the most commonly, like, praised thing about the game. Like, everyone who praises this game is always like, oh, it's so unique. And yeah, everyone knows it's unique at this point. But also an equal amount of people complain that it's too hard, which is fair, but still. I don't know, it's really hard for me to pick something that I find to be my absolute most favorite thing about the game ever, but I just like the game. I guess my favorite thing about WTD is just the game. Do you think the WTD community is toxic? Yeah it is. It's pretty obvious to everyone, honestly, who's been in it for longer than 30 seconds. It's a pretty toxic place. But to be fair, like, every community ever online for a video game is going to be toxic. Like just gamers are toxic, okay? Just people who play video games are mean, okay? They're mean people. They will call you slurs. They'll tell you to shut up. They'll say that you're bad. For every game. It's not just WTD. WTD is just one of, like, billions. Probably not billions, but millions at the very least, right? So, yeah, it is. But, really just all gaming communities in general are just really toxic. That's just the nature of online. Will you make more WTD modded content in the future? Yes, in fact, I've been planning on making modded videos for a long time. In fact, I actually had one in the works, but I ended up scrapping it because it just was going nowhere, really. I like modded a lot. I think it's pretty fun. It's interesting, unique. I hope it doesn't get deleted soon. So, yeah. Definitely will be making more content on it in the future. Are you a furry? No, I'm not. What is your least favorite and most favorite update in WTD history? I don't think it's too controversial to say that 1.9 was a pretty bad update. It had some pretty rough balance changes. The new content was bad. Freezing mode was and still is terrible. And the pre-rework Toxic Sewers was just awful. Okay, it was boring as hell. Nobody actually wanted to play it outside of getting the new content, and it was cool to see it like a true blue collab with another game, but it just wasn't very fun to play, unfortunately. As for most favorite update, I'm gonna say something that I don't know if a lot of people are gonna agree with. I doubt it, but I actually really liked 1.5.2. Not the update itself necessarily, like the actual update wasn't really that good, but it was just the last version of the game that I really thought was the most World Tower Defense-y version, if that makes sense. I don't know how to describe it, but I just feel like 1.5.3 kind of stripped away a lot of the charm that the game used to have. Thoughts on the WTD transfer thing happening right now? Assuming that this is talking about the whole, like, group holder account getting deleted or something. I'm sad, I guess. Not really anything else to say about it. I'm just sad. Favorite Deltarune character? Spamton. He's pretty cool. Least and most favorite map in WTD? Well, my least favorite map is definitely hands down Trinity. Oh my god, Trinity is ugly as hell. It is probably the ugliest map in the entire game. And it is super boring. It is just base plate but easier. I don't care if it has worse cliffs. It's just base plate but easier. And way uglier. As for most favorite map, I don't think it's too much of a hot take to say that Seasonal is pretty damn good. I really wish you could do Rush mode on it, but other than that, pretty good map. I just really like how unique it is compared to everything else. It has a pretty good soundtrack, other than Terminator's theme, I think, kind of sucking. It looks great, it plays pretty well, it's got good placement areas as well, which is the shocking thing for an insane map. I just like it. It's a cool map. Are you gonna do another hot take or rebalance suggestion video? Yes, actually. I'm not too sure about hot takes, to be honest with you, but definitely rebalance suggestion video. I don't know if I'm gonna do another hot take video, to be honest, but I'll definitely do another rebalance suggestion video one day, and I'd like to make it a lot better than the previous one I made, because honestly the last one was kind of just bad. Alright, last question I'm going to be answering here is, what do you hate the most about the WTD community? Well, you know, to be honest with you, I feel like my least favorite thing about the community, which honestly isn't a huge problem, but is still very much there, is just how easy it is for them to say that something that is objectively hard is actually easy. Like, for instance, and oh my god, I've done this so many times. I call something hard, and then some guy just chimes in out of nowhere and says, it's actually easy if you just use this, like, overpowered meta. Like, okay bro, I don't care if you use something really good and something that makes it easy, that thing is still going to be hard no matter what. Like, Painland's burdensome? Oh my god. I called Painland's hard one time, and someone said I was wrong. Like, what? What do you mean? Painlands is literally like the hardest non-arduous map in the game. It is just, it's such an elitism level thing to do, it's crazy. So I honestly would say that that's probably my least favorite thing about the community. There are other things that kind of suck too, like just some of the people in there are just, you know, not too nice. Some of the testers can feel a little elitist at times as well, but for the most part it's a pretty solid community, I'd say. Well, that was all the questions I had. I may or may not do another one of these in the future, I don't know yet, haven't figured it out. Alright, well, I don't have much else to say. I don't really know how to do an outro, so bye.